This is my Appreciative Inquiry Capstone project on assessment methods linked to student engagement. My purpose statement is the purpose of my action inquiry capstone project is to examine teacher reports that support alternate assessment methods that promote student engagement in a diverse elementary school classroom. My research question is, what are teacher reports of alternate assessment strategies that support student engagement in diverse elementary school classrooms? My sub-research questions are related to teaching and learning practices promoting student engagement, social justice practices promoting student engagement through alternate assessment methods, and just alternate assessment method high impact strategies. As I reviewed my literature, I found lots of information that was convergent with my participants in my study. A key feature of formative assessments is that we are able to monitor the progress of students while identifying potential growth opportunities. This article talked a lot about an educator feeling empowered to choose the assessment that their class will respond well to, and you can do that by knowing your students and their interests. The second article talked about self-assessment and how it's an opportunity for students to be intrinsically motivated to improve academically, and peer assessment, where they could work with peers and identify targeted learning goals and provide critical feedback. The last article talked about relaxation and learning environment, going off of classroom structure, classroom routines, and this article provided students with the opportunity to participate in a meditation activity prior to examination, and it was effective in treating test anxiety. I used the photo voice methodology when collecting my data. It's a framework that allows interview participants to gather specific photos that will guide them in the interview to help guide discussion. The prompts that the interviewees were given were teaching and learning practices promoting student engagement through alternate assessment methods, and social justice practices supporting student engagement and alternate assessment methods. The semi-structured interviews were conducted using the photo voice methodology with probing questions, both at the workplace and through Zoom. And these interview questions were a guide and were flexible through conversation. There was 3 interviewees that participated, a grade 3, 4, and grade 2 teacher. I used the coding process, reviewed all my interview transcripts, highlight coded and categorized topics that were repeated the most and held great importance in discussion. Then I organized my list and noticed the overlaps, similarities, and differences, and then connected my findings with UDL and other leadership frameworks. On the left are some significant codes that I found across all 3 interview transcripts. In the middle is a photo from participant 3 supporting classroom structure and routines. And on the right-hand side is an example of 2 students engaged in a student interest and a choice activity. My 3 themes were student choice and interest linked to student engagement, classroom structure and routines, and alternate assessment methods. As you can see in this photo, participant 1 shared learning centers, a game that they used, a game-based learning and alternate assessment methods, and creating a positive classroom experience. Participant 2 also shared a game that they used as an alternate assessment method and through game-based learning, a puzzle at the bottom that had all important keywords to them, an example of 2 of their students engaged in a choice activity. Participant 3 had shared a game that they had used, a picture of their classroom routines and structures that were set at the beginning of the year, and a learner-centered instruction web. Some major findings were that participants reported the maximizing student choice and flexibility during workshop time is effective to reach high levels of student engagement, and that was noted here from participant 2 in this picture. Participants reported that classroom structure and learning environments where students feel safe, valued, trusted, and comfortable is effective to build relationships, find student interests, and plan meaningful lessons to support the students in their interests. Also, participants reported that education should not be a one-size-fits-all approach. There's a need for additional professional development about alternate assessment methods and how those can be used and integrated within the classroom. This is an example of participant 1 using an alternate assessment method instead of a traditional standardized math assessment in her 3rd grade classroom. Some of my recommendations were teachers help make the changes. So teachers should work to design a classroom structure that uses alternate assessment methods to increase student engagement and overall educational practice. Teachers and coordinators can help make the changes. So including district ELA and math coordinators to work together on a curriculum that does that for us. PLC and professional development to have discussions about current strategies that teachers are using to create that welcoming, safe, and comfortable learning environment that students are able to perform in. And then my action plan was tied to professional development and curriculum development. I went with the recommendation that teachers and coordinators help make the changes together, working to identify a unit of study, and then working to then create 2 alternate assessment methods that students can take based within the current unit to optimize student engagement and achievement. Some conclusions: the strengths of the project were participants' ideas and thoughts aligned with related literature. Some challenges of the project were selecting interviewees and aligning dates and times to set up interviews. A big takeaway from this project is the importance of classroom structure and learning environment and linking student interest in learning to reach higher levels of student engagement, and new learned skills were implementation of the photo voice methodology.